Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have to say, the moment I saw these General Hospital spoilers, I got a bad feeling about Carly Spencer's plan. As someone who has watched this show for years, I know one thing about Carly. When one of her children is in danger, she doesn't wait around for someone else to save the day. She jumps right into the fire herself. That's exactly what seems to be happening now, and I'm not convinced it's going to end well. The second Carly learned that Jossl was being held hostage at Windermere, there was no way she was going to sit quietly and trust the professionals. Finding out that Ross Cullum had Joss's ring in his possession only made the situation feel more real and more urgent. Any mother would panic after seeing evidence like that, and Carly is certainly no exception. From her perspective, every minute matters, and I can understand why she feels compelled to take action immediately. Still, the more I think about it, the more I believe Carly may be walking straight into a disaster. Windermere is not some ordinary house. It's a massive estate filled with hidden corners, complicated passageways, and countless places where someone could disappear without a trace. On top of that, the entire property is reportedly surrounded by WSB agents. That alone would make any rescue mission incredibly dangerous. What makes this situation even more concerning is that the people best equipped to handle it are unavailable. Valentine Cassadine has already sacrificed his freedom by turning himself over to the WSB in an effort to deal with the growing crisis. Meanwhile, Jack Brennan is stuck recovering in a hospital bed and can't offer any help. With those options off the table, Carly appears determined to take matters into her own hands. That brings Lucas Jones into the picture, and honestly, I can see why Carly would turn to him. Out of everyone available, Lucas probably knows Windermere better than almost anyone. He has spent plenty of time there and still has connections to the property. The weekly preview showing Carly revealing Jocelyn's secret life as a WSB agent to Lucas was a huge moment. To me, that scene highlighted just how desperate Carly has become. She is sharing information she normally would never reveal because she believes her daughter's life is at stake. However, knowing the layout of Windermere and successfully infiltrating it are two very different things. That's where I think Carly and Lucas may be underestimating the danger ahead. They are driven by love, loyalty, and fear for Jocelyn's safety, but those emotions can sometimes cloud judgment. In General Hospital, we've seen countless characters rush into risky situations believing they can outsmart everyone, only to find themselves trapped moments later. As I look at all the pieces of this story, I can't shake the feeling that this rescue mission is being set up to fail. The odds are stacked against Carly and Lucas from the start. If they do make it to Windermere, they may discover that saving Jocelyn is far more complicated than either of them expected. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they end up needing rescuing themselves before this storyline is over. The more I think about this situation, the more I understand why Lucas would immediately agree to help Carly. If I put myself in his shoes, I honestly can't imagine saying no. Jocelyn isn't just another member of the family. She's his niece, someone he cares deeply about. When a family member is in danger, especially one who may be trapped and completely cut off from help, most people don't stop to calculate the risks. They act. That's exactly what I believe Lucas is doing here. What makes Lucas such an important piece of this puzzle is his unique connection to Windermere. This isn't a place he has only visited once or twice. He knows its history. He knows its atmosphere. He knows the strange layout that has confused countless visitors over the years. More importantly, Lucas has lived there recently and spent time there as a child. If there are hidden entrances, forgotten hallways, secret passages, or underground tunnels that could help Carly avoid detection, Lucas is probably one of the few people in Port Charles who could actually find them. I can easily picture the two of them moving quietly through those dark tunnels beneath the estate, hoping every turn brings them one step closer to Jocelyn. On paper, it almost sounds like a solid plan. Carly brings determination and the fierce love of a mother, while Lucas brings knowledge of the property and a willingness to help. Together, they might believe they have enough advantages to pull off the impossible, but that's exactly where I think the danger begins. One thing I have learned from years of watching General Hospital is that the moment characters start believing they have everything figured out, the story usually takes a sharp turn in the opposite direction. Carly and Lucas may know Windermere, but knowing a building and successfully infiltrating a heavily guarded operation are two completely different things. What worries me most is that they are not dealing with ordinary enemies. They are facing highly trained WSB agents. These are people whose careers revolve around surveillance, intelligence gathering, and stopping intruders before they ever reach their target. Carly is brave, and Lucas is resourceful, but neither of them has the kind of training required to outmaneuver a team of professionals operating on their own territory. Then there is Ross Cullum. Every time I think about this storyline, I keep coming back to him. Cullum isn't dangerous because of his physical strength. He's dangerous because of his intelligence. He's the kind of villain who is always watching, always calculating, and always preparing for multiple outcomes at once. Characters like Cullum rarely leave things to chance. If he knows people are looking for Jossl, there is a good possibility that he has already anticipated a rescue attempt. That's what makes me wonder whether Carly and Lucas are walking directly into a trap without even realizing it. Imagine for a moment that Cullum already expects Carly to come searching for her daughter. Wouldn't he prepare for that? Wouldn't he place people in strategic locations? Wouldn't he use Jossl as bait to lure others into exposing themselves? The more I think about it, the more believable that possibility becomes. And if that isn't enough, there is another threat lurking in the shadows that neither Carly nor Lucas seems prepared for. Cassius Faison, the man masquerading as Nathan West, may end up becoming the biggest surprise of this entire storyline. What makes him so dangerous is that he isn't on their radar. Carly and Lucas are focused on finding Jossl. They are focused on avoiding WSB agents. They are focused on staying away from Cullum. Meanwhile, Cassius could be operating completely unnoticed. In my opinion, that's the type of threat that often causes the most damage. The enemy you know about is dangerous. The enemy you don't know exists can be devastating. I can already imagine a scenario where Carly and Lucas successfully navigate the tunnels and believe they are finally getting close to Jossl. Maybe they avoid security. Maybe they slip past several obstacles. Maybe they even start believing that their plan is working. Then, at the worst possible moment, Cassius steps out from the shadows and destroys everything they have accomplished. That kind of twist would fit perfectly within the style of General Hospital. Just when the audience starts believing the heroes are about to win, the ground disappears beneath their feet. Another detail that keeps standing out to me is the emotional state of both Carly and Lucas. Neither of them is thinking like a trained operative. They're thinking like family members. They're scared. They're worried. They're desperate. Those emotions are understandable, but they can also lead people to make mistakes they normally wouldn't make. Carly especially has always followed her heart when it comes to her children. Sometimes that quality makes her heroic. Other times it places her directly in harm's way. Right now, I believe she's operating entirely on instinct, and instinct can be a dangerous guide when every move is being watched by powerful enemies. As all these pieces come together, I find it harder and harder to believe that this rescue mission will succeed the way Carly hopes. In fact, I think the spoilers are pointing towards something much more troubling. Instead of rescuing Jossl, Carly and Lucas may end up becoming prisoners themselves. The irony would be heartbreaking. They could risk everything to save Jossl only to find themselves locked away, powerless to help anyone. Suddenly, the mission would completely reverse. Instead of one hostage needing rescue, there could be three. From where I'm sitting, all the warning signs are there. The overwhelming odds, the trained agents, the unpredictable Cullum, the hidden threat posed by Cassius, and the emotional decisions driving Carly and Lucas forward all seem to be leading toward the same conclusion. This feels less like a successful rescue operation and more like the beginning of a disaster. And if I'm right, the real question won't be whether Carly and Lucas can save Jossl. The real question will be who is going to save Carly, Lucas, and Jossl once they all find themselves trapped with no way out. That possibility alone is what makes this storyline so exciting. Because the closer Carly gets to her daughter, the closer she may be getting to the biggest mistake of her life.